All right, welcome to day 3 of 7 days to 740 credit. Now, one of the things that I see almost every day is people that hire us to fix their credit through Fortress University that just simply forgot to pay a payment. They forgot to pay an annual fee. They forgot to pay electric bill, or they moved. They forgot to send the box back or pay their final bill, or something that happened last week. A gentleman called me in July of last year, July 2020. He had his Lamborghini stolen. It was wrecked and totaled, and he didn't make the next month's payment. And so it messed up his credit. So today we're talking about setting up bill pay and automating your bills and automating how you pay it. So we're basically going to take your finances and put them on autopilot. Think about this. Do you think the IRS, the government, worries about whether or not you're going to pay your bill, your taxes, if you're an employee? Most employees just file their return when it's required and they get a refund check. Most people, that's what happens because they don't change their W-4, which allows them to change how much tax is pulled out. See, the IRS figured out a long time ago that if they did not force people to pay their taxes every paycheck, people simply didn't pay their taxes. And when it come to paying taxes, they didn't have any money left. So the IRS figured out a long time ago, you got to pull that money out before that person gets it because they're going to spend it. And so I kind of want to do the same thing here is we want to pull out that money, spend it, if you will, on your bills, pay for everything right away and automate it. So it's automatic. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life. Doesn't matter how work was. Doesn't matter if you're on vacation. Everything gets paid. Now, the number one way that I do this is I do it through bill pay. I remember when bill pay first come out, probably 20 plus years ago, you used to have to pay for it. And then the banks would advertise, hey, free bill pay with us. Join us. Bring your money over here. We'll give you cash to open a bank account and we'll give you free bill pay. And sometimes you'll see that advertised, but here's the deal. All banks now, all banks that I know of, offer bill pay for free. No charge. Why is that? Why would a bank offer you bill pay? Because it's convenient and you pay your bills on time. But the way they're able to offer it for free is bill pay itself. See, what people don't realize is bill pay is actually a type of a credit reporting agency. They're technically under the CRA or under the FCRA guidelines, if you will, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So they are looked at as a CRA. They know your account numbers. They know your payment history. They know your balances. They know how much you pay. They just don't report it on a credit report that you see, but it's there. And so what bill pay figured out was they will send the bills for you, pay the stamp and the postage for you. In exchange, they hold on to the money. And they generally hold on to the money for 2 to 3 days. Now, that might not seem like a big deal to you. You and I, we go to a bank and we open up a savings account or a checking account. We don't get a lot of money from the bank. So for us, it's not a big deal. I'm okay with bill pay holding on to the money for 2 to 3 days if they pay my bills for me for free. See, what they're doing is in that 2 to 3 days, they have hundreds of millions of dollars sitting in their bank account, and they're getting interest on that money. They're day trading. They're doing all kind of stuff behind the scenes with your money, with my money. This is how they make money by doing this for free. This is, I think, one of the most important things that you can do in order to have 740 credit. What I see on a regular basis is people forget to pay their bills primarily because they forgot the account was still open. The credit card company creates an annual fee that they didn't have before, or they had an annual fee, and when they were using the account, it was just in the balance and they just paid it in full. They didn't realize it. And what I see on a regular basis are people think they closed an account, and then a year later they get hit with some late fees, and they get hit with late payments on their credit report. Now they can't buy that new house. Now they can't get that new car. They can't refinance. They can't get that wonderful credit card that gives you cash back to use it because they forgot to pay a $3 payment on a $25 bill pay, or a $25 annual payment rather, because they didn't set up bill pay. Bill pay is extremely easy to set up. Like I said, almost all banks offer it. So it's really simple. If you take your phone, if you use your phone for these kind of things, or you can do it on a computer. And for me, I simply go here. I got a little contact or a little folder there. It's called Finance. I click on the Finance. It opens up. I click US Bank. I hold it up here because I'm using an iPhone. It looks at my face, scans me in. I'm now logged in right there. Now I can go down here to where bottom left-hand corner, it says Pay Bills, Transfer. I go Pay Bill. And now on my phone, it lists all of my bills that I have set up in bill pay, all of them. So I literally go in here and I can go, oh, I want to pay Bank of the Pacific Ferrari. So I click on that. It's set up on Autopay. Look at that. It's already on Autopay. Well, maybe I want to pay a little bit extra towards the principal, so I pay less interest, or I just leave it alone. The reason I have it on Autopay is I don't want to take a chance that I'm traveling, that I'm on vacation somewhere, or another business trip. I'm out of the country and I forget to pay that damn Ferrari bill. And now I come back from out of the country and I got a late payment. And so I set all this stuff up. It's super easy. You literally just go in here, click a couple buttons, set up Autopay, wham, bam, done. Automatically pays your bills. Now, here's something else I would recommend that you do. If you have credit cards, go to the credit card site, CapitalOne.com, Citibank.com, Discover.com, Barclays.com, AmericanExpress.com, whatever it is. Log in and click on Manage Payments. When you do that, you want to set up automatic bill pay through your credit card company as well. So you have bill pay set up through your bank and the backup set up with the credit card company. That way, in case one of these two fails, you're okay. Now, if you manage your finances properly and you pay off your credit cards in full every month, I recommend you set up automatic payments inside your credit card site to auto pay in full. Now, if you're not sure you want to pay your bill in full every month, then at least select minimum payment. So you go into Discover.com, you click Manage Payments, you click Set Up Auto Pay, click Set Up Manage the Payment, and select Pay Minimum Payment, Submit, Save. It pops up, Auto Pay is set up. Now here's something you should know. Most of these credit cards will take 1 month to have auto pay set up. So you still need to make your manual payment or your bill pay payment on your checking account website, because it's going to take 1 month for the bill pay system to work on the credit card site. Okay. Now, the reason we do two is I've had people close bank accounts and forget about bill pay, and they never got notified. If you have both of them set up, you'll get notified that payment failed on the minimum payment. And it's better to have a 35 NSF fee, failed payment fee. It's better to have that than a 7-year late payment fee. Also, the banks almost always will waive the NSF fee if this is not a normal thing for you. So you simply just ask them, hey, we waived this fee. I made a mistake. I forgot about it, whatever. And they're going to waive the fee for you almost every single time. So you want to set it up in bill pay. So what I've done with mine is I have a few dozen credit cards. And as you know, or maybe you don't know, but I travel a lot. I do speaking engagements all over the United States and in the world, actually. And I do a lot of speaking engagements, and I do a lot of other things outside of my home and my home office. And so what I have is I have all of my credit cards set up with the credit card company to make the minimum payment no matter what prior to the due date. Some of them I have set up to pay in full. Now, the ones I have set up pay in full, I have regular reoccurring bills on those credit cards. So for example, my Sears Citibank card, I have Netflix on it. That's the only thing that's on there. The annual fee and Netflix. And I don't even know what it is. I think Netflix is now $10 or $11 a month. So $10.99 or whatever it is shows up on the Citi card every month. The system automatically pays it off every month. And I don't have to worry about it. I pay it in full automatically every month. Now, on a credit card that I use a lot with, like my American Express business card, I do not have that set up to automatically pay in full every month. Instead, I have it set up to automatically pay the minimum payment. Why? Because that credit card could be $100,000 one month, could be $200,000 another month, could be $30,000. I could just have done payroll. I could have had something come up. And so I want those large payments, for me personally, I want that set up for minimum payment. And then I will manually pay it through my app on my phone, or I'll do it through bill pay. Okay. So you need to have it set up on both. If it's a credit card, you need to have it on both, on the credit card site and inside your checking account, bank account file for automatic payment. Another thing that I do is I love debt. Absolutely love the debt. Don't like paying interest. I will pay interest for access to money. That's just how it works. I'm using other people's money. I do pay a little bit of interest, but I try to limit how much interest I pay. One of the strategies is to pay bills every single week. So like my Ferrari loan, it is roughly $1,000 a month. I know it doesn't seem like a lot because they finance it over 12 years. Maybe that does seem a lot to you. I don't know. But it's about $1,040 or something like that a month. So what I do is I pay $400 a week through bill pay on that Ferrari loan. So I scheduled the first payment, $1,040, and then the following week I did $400, and then every week after that, automatically every week a check from bill pay for $400 is sent. Now that's a business car, and so there's always enough money in that business account because I maintain a minimum balance to make sure my bills are paid. And automatically on Friday every week, a check for $400 is sent to Bank of the Pacific for my Ferrari. Why would I do that? Why would I pay weekly? Because they're going to get the check and then they're applying that to the principal. So the following week, there's less money owed, which means there's less money charged via interest because I paid it down by $400. And then a week later, they get another check, $400. It reduces the principal by $400. By doing this, it accelerates the debt payment program, and I pay a lot less interest. Now, if you don't have the ability to pay weekly, then that's okay. You can pay monthly. It's just one of the things that I do to save on interest. Now, when it comes to credit cards, if you're trying to get higher credit limits, I highly recommend that you pay weekly. And it's really simple to set up. You don't have to pay the balance off in full every month. Or every week. You simply pay something every week. So like my American Express, I pay $1,000 every Friday, no matter what, $1,000 to my American Express. Now, again, that balance at the end of the month could be $100,000, could be $200,000. But I'm paying $1,000 a week. Why do I do that? So they see payments coming in, they increase the credit limit. This is a hack to increase your credit limits. It doesn't have to be a $200,000 Amex. It literally could be $1,000 Capital One starter card. And you pay $50 a week, $25 a week. The nice thing with bill pay is because it's free for you, you don't have to worry about the stamp. So literally the payment could be $1 and there's no stamp for you. Could be $1,000 like my American Express. And it could be everything in between there. So you could be paying $5 a week on that $1,000 credit card. And eventually that will help you get a higher credit limit. So when you set up your bills, you set up automatic payment with your credit card, automatic payments with bill pay. And then I recommend you pay a little bit extra. And if you can make payments weekly, I recommend that because it will reduce your principal and it'll reduce the amount of interest that you pay on that loan. And again, bill pay is super easy to set up. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over it. You just need to log in, set it up. Now, in the beginning, it does take a little bit of time. So what I would recommend is maybe once a week, maybe on a Sunday, have your bills. Don't open them every single day. Just put them in the file, put them in a drawer. On Sunday, open all your bills, set up bill pay that week for what you received, and then file those bills. The next week on Sunday, open it up, set up everything. Now, if you want to do it all at once and you already have a folder with all your bills, then you can do it all at once. But if you don't, and you're somebody that, throws away the bill or doesn't file it, then when you get them, go ahead and do that when you get them. Now, you can do it every day if you want. It's up to you, whatever works best for your schedule. But I recommend you do it for every single bill you have should be through bill pay, and then set it up to auto pay. Because what I don't want to hear from you is I don't want you to ever call and say, I need you to fix my credit because I forgot to pay a $3 payment on my credit card. And it's funny when I talk to people like this. They're like, can you believe my credit score went down $100 over $3? It's only $3. I make millions of dollars. And at $3, it's actually worse if it's $3 versus $3,000. It truly shows your irresponsibility. And the banks would rather loan to someone who misses a $3,000 payment than a $3 payment. Because if you didn't make a payment on $3, what's the likelihood of you paying them on $3,000? See how that works? So you want to make sure all your bills are paid automatically through bill pay and through your automatic system. Things that you can auto pay is pretty much everything. Another thing that you can do, and I highly recommend this, is you put all of your monthly reoccurring bills on credit cards. So that way you're using your credit cards in every month. So you're using the credit card. So it has activity, and then you set it up to pay itself off in full. This will help you maintain good activity, which eventually help you get above 740. So that's it for today's 7 days to 740 credit. And today I talked about how to set up automatic payments and bill pay. For all of you that are online watching right now, since we're doing this live, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. Please keep your questions related to what we talked about today, which was setting up bill pay, setting up your bills and automating everything so we can maintain our high credit and work our way to 740 or higher. All right, let's open up some questions here. John Carter from YouTube says, will the banks report me late if I'm just one late past the due date? That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that question. Sorry, my nose is itching. I think there's there's a big forest fire not too far from here, and it's bugging me a little bit. So, John, it depends. It depends on what type of bank and what type of loan. But generally, for personal credit with your social security number, not business credit, personal credit, generally you have a 30-day grace period. So if the payment's due on the 1st, let's say the payment's due July 1st, and you pay it July 31st. Technically, you're 30 days late. However, as long as it's paid on July 31st and not on August 1st, they're not going to report you late because there's a 30-day grace period. They may, if it's a mortgage, they may charge you a late fee, but they're not going to report you late. Now, when it comes to business credit, if it's due on the 1st and you pay on the 2nd, you're 30 days late. You do not want to pay your business credit accounts late. You always want to pay them early because they actually, unlike personal credit, business credit actually reports, and your credit score is impacted in a good way if you pay early. So if you pay on time, you get what's called an 80 Paydex, equivalent of an 800 FICO score. If you pay 5 days early, you get an 85 Paydex. If you pay 10 days early, you get a 90 Paydex. 15 days early, 95. 20 days early, 100 Paydex score. So when a business looks at it and they see a 75 Paydex, they know you pay late. They see a 95 Paydex, they know you pay early. They're more likely to extend you credit. Great question, John. Thank you so much. Jaldeep from YouTube says, what is the difference of paying bills on bill pay versus regular checking account? Why bill pay in particular? That's a really good question. It's because bill pay sends it for you free of charge. If you write a check and stick it in an envelope, you got to put a stamp on it, and then it's got to go through the regular mail, and you have to pay for the check, you got to pay for the envelope, and you got to pay for the stamp. And there's no tracking. With bill pay, there's no envelope, there's no stamp, there's no check, and there's tracking. So that's why I like bill pay over paying your stuff automatically. This really come in handy in November 2015. I got sepsis. I had organ failure. My right lung completely collapsed. My left lung was 80% collapsed. I went into ICU for 14 days. During that time, I didn't have to worry about my bills. I didn't have to worry about whether they were getting paid. Because, yes, I was in ICU for 14 days. I was in the hospital for longer than that. And then after I got out of the hospital, I laid in bed technically for 6 months. And I was on oxygen. I was very, very frail, very brittle, and very sick. The last thing I needed to worry about was paying my credit cards or my bills. And because of bill pay, I knew I was fine. The money goes into the checking account, bill pay takes care of it. So you never know when things are going to go sideways. I had a client that, this is a crazy story. Listen to this. She goes on vacation, goes on a cruise, a 3-week cruise. In that 3 weeks, her debit card got hacked. The debit card got hacked. All of her money got drained. Her car insurance didn't get paid because she didn't have it set up on a credit card. It was on her checking account. She gets back from her cruise, driving home from the airport, gets hit by a drunk driver with no insurance, totals her new car that she has a loan on that happens to have no car insurance. And eventually she ended up in bankruptcy. And it all started with not having everything set up on bill pay. Now, you could say, well, it started because the drunk driver hit her. Well, what if she would have wrecked a car? Because she didn't have bill pay set up, insurance was not paid, which that's what started. The car accident started the chain reaction, but it was the fact that it wasn't on bill pay. So you never know what's going to happen with this. I cannot recommend it enough. John from YouTube says, what if I get a late payment and the bank won't remove it? Well, at that point, you could hire someone like me to go in and fix it for you. If you are a member of Fortress University, you simply notify us and we'll go out and fix that free of charge. If it's during the COVID pandemic, there's a lot of laws in there. There's a lot of resources in there to prevent them from reporting you late. But like I showed on the other video on day 2, I showed you how to read a credit report. I showed you how to see all of the mistakes. And based on those mistakes is what we're going to do. We're never going to dispute that you were not late. If you were late, it doesn't matter. We're going to look at all the other stuff that I showed on the other class. From YouTube, what's the difference between bill pay and setting up auto pay on app directly? Bill pay is a separate service through your checking account. The app is generally the service for that credit card or that bill. I recommend both. I recommend bill pay, that you send a check automatically, and I recommend automatically managing your payments, like your minimum payments. So even though you're making a minimum payment on the app, you're still sending a check in on a credit card once a week to increase your limits, or at least once a month for the minimum payment. And it's really simple to figure out, guys. If you look at your credit card statement and you're like, okay, I maxed it out, I owe $2,000, my minimum payment's $75. I'm going to go ahead and set up bill pay for a minimum of $75, and I'm going to select the app to pay the minimum payment. Technically, you're paying $150 a month, but you got to pay that credit card off. Now, if you pay it off in full every month, who cares if you make an extra $75 payment, because it's just going to go to something else you bought. Another question on YouTube. Oh, I meant, won't ACH payment work the same as if it was put on auto pay for the date? Yeah, ACH, that is auto pay. But you would do that ACH payment with the actual bank. Bill pay sends them an actual check or does an ACH transfer, and then it automates it. So the thing with bill pay is you can go in and select American Express, the 15th, every month on the 15th, X amount of dollars, submit. You can't do that on an app that you're paying weekly or a certain amount. They let you pay, generally on the app, you can do it manually, but when you do it on an app or on the bank's website, the credit card company, the loan, whatever, it's ACH once a month. With bill pay, you can set it up daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, whatever you want. And you can send manual payments as well. So let's say that you got a bonus and you want to pay a little extra. You log on, phone, click the account, pay extra, submit, done. A couple days later, it shows up. Christopher says, can I be a lifetime client? Absolutely. Once you're a part of Fortress University, it's kind of like Hotel California. You're there forever. Because I'm constantly dropping stuff and put in there. Vic from Facebook says, how do I get derogatory accounts off my credit report? The way you get derogatory accounts, I covered that on day 2, how to read a credit report. And you dispute it based on the mistakes in the way it's being reported. Great question. All right, looks like that is it for today. I appreciate you guys. We're going to do day 4 tomorrow, and we're going to finish up 7 days to 740 credit tomorrow. All right. See you later.